Hello, welcome to Did You Watch Survivor Last Night? My name is Jake Scheidel. This is a podcast about reality TV and friendship. Each week I talk about a certain reality television show with my best friend, Thomas Powell. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? I don't know why I called you Tommy. I don't feel good about that.
I am untethered and my rage knows no bounds.
Solely because I called you Tommy?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, I have reasons.
Okay, that seems fair. So I got a question for you, Thomas. Did you watch Survivor last night?
Oh, I watched that bullshit.
Okay, we'll get into
Watched
it.
all 2 hours of it. And didn't watch the reunion show because I'm not a masochist.
That's fine. You definitely didn't need to because it is boring, as always.
I heard Sia was there.
Sia was there and gave Ty a lot of money because he loves animals. How sweet is that?
Wait, why did Ty get money?
Oh, we'll talk about it. It happens after all the other shit. Okay, we got a lot of shit to talk about.
This is another instance where a rightful person doesn't actually get money.
Fair enough. So this episode...
Why didn't Sia give Aubrey some money?
Aubrey gets money. Okay, we'll talk about it. This is going to be a long episode. There's a lot to talk about. Already a minute and a half in, and we haven't even talked about one thing. We haven't even mentioned the episode title, which is "Not Going Down Without a Fight." I don't know where that's a quote from. You doing all right? Are you upset about the result?
I just don't know how I can take this piece by piece. I just don't. We can go through it.
Yeah, we will.
I just thought I was kind of underwhelmed by the episode in general.
Oh yeah.
I thought that the challenge, the final challenge was fine.
Uh-huh.
Like, I'm not even talking about results because, like, Michelle won that shit. Like, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was like just a lot. They ended on a challenge where they had to get a bunch of fucking puzzle pieces again. Like, what is this?
Okay, we'll go through it. So, starting off at camp, Mark crows and wakes everybody up, so Ty has to take care of him, because this is pet. Ty wants to stay with Aubrey, and wants to get in good with Sydney. And Aubrey wants to take out Michelle. Sydney says that she's tight with both Aubrey and Michelle. Ay. And she wants to take out Ty, which is a smart move. So then over at the reward challenge, they have to race under a net, slide some tiles into a hole, balance those tiles on a machete, and then match the tiles, and then there will be 3 leftover tiles to make a combination, and then the combination makes a flag go up, and then you win. Did you like this challenge?
I thought this one was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. There was a lot going on. I liked it.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Aubrey won that one.
She did, and she's allowed to bring one other person on the reward. So guess who she picks? Sydney, of course. I think as I was watching the episode, that took a long time to get to. As I was watching the episode, I said, "Oh, those two are fucking after this show." And now I ship it. So Aubrey doesn't want Michelle to win immunity. Yeah, I'm sure you don't.
It would kind of throw a wrench in the plan of voting Michelle out.
Yep.
So
Make it difficult to do that. So back at camp, Michelle talks to Ty about the vote and suggests voting for Aubrey, and Ty's like, yeah, that's a good idea, but he doesn't commit to anything, and says, if I have to betray my true alliance, I will betray my true alliance, which was Jason and Scott, by the way. Just throwing that out there. That was his true alliance, and he got both of them out.
Mm-hmm.
So, your word means shit, Ty. At the immunity challenge, they have to unlock some stairs, drop a ladder, and solve a puzzle. And then that's about it. Aubrey leads throughout, but it levels out at the puzzle, and Michelle ends up winning. The pretty girl ends up winning the puzzle challenge, not the smart girl. What a surprise! This season of Survivor, always full of surprises.
Yep. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine that you won this one.
Ty
actually nearly won this one.
Yeah.
He was very close. I think he was in the lead at the end, and Michelle managed to get past him on the puzzle.
Yeah, it was pretty neck and neck there at the end between the two Beauty Tribe members. So Sydney says she has to cozy up to Michelle. Back at camp, Aubrey tells Ty that they have to vote Sydney and force a tie. Force a tie.
Tie.
Ty has to force a tie.
Force a tie.
Let's make as many puns about people's names on this show as we can. That was the producers talking on the show.
I like this new character that you introduced of just you talking and then it's pretending it was someone else.
Yeah. I think it's a pretty cool thing to do. Michelle and Sydney agree that they both have to vote Aubrey, and they have to convince Ty. Also, Mark chases a crab, which is a fun thing. Mark's definitely the best character.
Oh, Mark. So happy to see him get released. It was legitimately emotional.
It was really nice. Michelle tells Ty that she's voting for Aubrey, and Ty says as long as it's her and not him, he's fine. But that's not even true, Ty. Aubrey says that Ty's being super shady, and I'm worried if he sees me as a threat, he will vote me out. Yeah, agreed. He should. He should definitely vote Aubrey out. Because she's the biggest threat to win. I don't know why he didn't vote for her. But anyway.
Yeah, she'd be... God, whatever.
Okay. This is some pretty heavy stuff. Let's lighten the mood a bit. Talk about 3 episodes of The Real World that you missed. It's fine, Thomas. It's fine that you didn't...
I wouldn't say I missed them.
They missed you. So, I forgot what all happened in those 2 episodes that I watched while I was home last week.
Man, what is this exciting television I'm missing out on?
So I'm not sure where to pick up the story.
Catch Real World Fever.
Did you know that they got a new roommate? They got a new roommate moved in.
Who?
His name's Dylan. He's from Boston, and everybody thinks he's super hot. And
does he suck?
He sucks a whole lot. But wait.
As soon as I heard Dylan, I was like, yeah, that guy probably sucks.
But wait, there's more to his suck. He and Kayla make out a little bit. Whatever. Who's not going to make out with Kayla, you know? But Didn't
Kayla say she wasn't going to get involved with another person in the house?
Hey, man, it's just like making out in the elevator. Whatever. Who cares? Also, I just realized that their loft doesn't have a front door. You have to get there from an elevator. Which I guess makes sense because they live in a hotel, but...
That's like a bad Sims house.
That's like a Drake and Josh house.
That's like...
Also, no, that would be the greatest Sims house.
One of my roommates was just telling me that he had made a Sims house in Sims 2 where you had to take a staircase up like 8 stories to get into... like, the front entrance of that, like, you couldn't get into the rest of the house unless you scaled the entire stairs, and then you could go down into the other
That's a great idea. I'm gonna steal that.
Like, it was an unplayable file after that, because if you ever wanted to go into the house, it took forever, but it was worth it.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that in the newest one, because you can do shit like that. So, Dylan is actually into, guess who?
Oh, the racist one.
Yep. But Jenna...
What? The guy from Boston likes a racist person?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Jenna's still dating this dude. Austin, though. But she's also into Dylan. Love triangle, I know. Dylan's pretty persistent about wanting to be with her, so things escalate. But Jenna doesn't want to end things with Austin, the person she's only emailed over the 2 months that they've been there. Crazy. So one night, Jenna and Dylan make out on an escalator and also everywhere else in the hotel. But then the next morning, she denies it. So Dylan's like, you know what? Forget it. I'm not going to try with this anymore. So she gets real sad. And then she breaks up with Austin via email, of course. And then...
What?
Yeah, because the dude doesn't want to be on the show.
She keeps finding ways to be pretty terrible.
Yeah.
Like, break up via email? Not even on the phone?
Well, he said he didn't want to be on the phone on the show at all, so she had to do it over email. Don't ask me. I don't know. They're dumb people. So she breaks up with me over email and then goes to the bar Dylan's at and is like, I want to be with you. And then Dylan's like, no thanks. I don't want to deal with you anymore. So then they're all in the loft at the end of the night, and Jenna and CJ get in a big fight for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And then next week's the 2-episode season finale. Are you so excited?
Wait, so they brought a roommate on for 3 episodes?
I think overall it'll be 5 episodes shown over 3 weeks, so yeah, they just needed to throw in some more drama, I guess, which, good for them, they did it, but... I
mean, if I was going to be on The Real World, I probably would want to be like, you only have to be on for a couple days, like,
yeah.
Okay.
I'd like to be on it for like 6 months, like they did in the early seasons. Getting some deep shit if you're there for 6 months. Mm-hmm. So at Tribal Council, Ty says that alliances are out the door now. And then Sydney says, again, it's a me game, not a we game. Remember when she said that before? And it became the episode title?
Yep.
Pretty cool thing they did there.
Sydney's branding is, her game's pretty strong there.
Yeah. So, the votes are 1 for Aubrey, a 1 for Sydney, another 1 for Aubrey, and 1 more for Sydney. So, excuse me.
Nobody's changing their votes.
Nobody's changing their votes to get someone out. Okay, fine. Whatever. I realized during this Tribal Council, I think I said it on our Twitter, which is DYWSLN, Ty is bad at this game, so I should be unsurprised by this. So they have to build fire.
Jake, why does it... I don't get why that matters. Like, he's not getting voted out, so it's not really...
Well, he could have voted out Aubrey.
That didn't end up mattering.
Well, no, I think it would have influenced the game a lot more if it had been Sydney.
Given
Michelle,
how fucking stupid the jury was, Sydney might have had a better shot than Aubrey.
But yeah, no, she probably would have. But I think Ty would have had a better shot against the two of them than against
Ty had
Aubrey.
No shot against anyone.
Probably not, but I would have liked to see him vote out Aubrey.
Yeah, you would have liked to have seen him vote out Aubrey because you wanted Sydney to win so you could get those points.
Well, okay, we'll get to the points. So Aubrey wins the fire building contest, so Sydney's out, and Probst says, this is day 37, the ride's not over.
This was great. This was in line with the quality of the season. Going down to making fire, it was super close, it was very tense.
Yeah.
And I did not expect Aubrey to win, and I was very proud of her.
Me neither. They definitely built it up like Sydney was going to win that. Because the whole time they were like, oh, Aubrey can't build fire. And Michelle was like, you don't need to practice building fire, Sydney. You'll be fine. But I guess, in the end, Sydney was just too confident about her ability to build fire. Even though she hadn't done it ever, the entire time she was on the island. She'd never built a fire. So I don't know why she didn't even practice once. Bad move. I gotta say, she's played a great game. Bad move there. She was outplayed.
Yep. She was most definitely outplayed.
So they get back to camp, and Ty says, are you sure there's not another challenge? No, Jeff never said it's up to the jury. And Aubrey is confident there's not going to be another challenge.
Well, she was confident there wasn't going to be another elimination challenge.
Did she specifically say elimination?
Well, because that was what Ty was saying, was that Jeff didn't say that they were the final 3.
Right.
So that her response to that was like basically like, there's not going to be another elimination challenge.
Could be, but I would...
She was like, there's not going to be another challenge of any kind, and then they immediately walk over to a challenge set.
And then they're on MTV.
Yeah.
So the next morning, Michelle gets tree mail, and there is another challenge. So they go to that challenge, and Jeff takes back the immunity and says, immunity is not back up for grabs. You guys are the final 3. And Michelle says, but... And Jeff says, there is a but.
And it's a really stupid twist that we shouldn't have in this game.
The winner of today's challenge wins the right to vote out one jury member. I think it's cool.
This is something that they put in just to fucking do it. It was like, we want to do something a little bit different.
Well, it shakes up the game a bit.
Yeah,
I mean,
but that's such bullshit that they, like, especially because of who got voted out. I felt so horrible for Neil. Neil was there for, like, 30 days and then had to leave without even getting to vote.
Well, we'll get into it. So they need to balance on a shaky platform and stack a series of balls, and Michelle points out that this is the dexterity portion of their very first challenge, which no one chose in that challenge. So, way to bring it back, you guys. Good on you. That's what I have to say about that. Aubrey and Michelle are neck and neck throughout, but Aubrey's stack drops at the last ball, and
she
Michelle
just can't quite
wins.
pull the arm off of it without knocking it over, because if she had, she would have won.
Yep. So back at camp, Michelle talks to Aubrey. Nope, Michelle talks to Ty first, and Ty's like, you should vote out Joe. Or no, she says she should vote out Joe, and Ty's like, you should vote out Neil. He's more influential. And Michelle's like, oh, good idea. And then she talks to Aubrey, and Aubrey says that Ty has more votes than he's letting on, which turns out to not be true.
Not be true at all. I mean, it was her only move.
He was acting like he had negative votes, but actually he had 0 votes. Aubrey says that Michelle has a loaded gun, and I hope she just doesn't have good aim. Another metaphor from Aubrey.
A final metaphor.
Final metaphor. Hey, Thomas.
Yeah.
Did you watch the challenge last night?
No, I didn't.
Fine. It's fine. It's fine. You will next week.
I will next week. I wasn't going to watch a 2-hour Survivor finale and also watch the challenge.
Well, you didn't even watch the full Survivor finale, so...
I watched 2 hours of it. I didn't watch the fucking reunion.
It was a good reunion.
It wasn't.
It was not a great reunion.
I was too mad to watch the dumb reunion.
So they're all out clubbing, you know, and Ashley gets upset because she thought she saw Jamie making out with Nicole. Drama. Also...
Wasn't he making out with Nicole?
No. Everyone denied it. And there was no footage of it at all. Like, if there was footage of it, they would have shown it. It never happened. Ashley has a nickname. Smashly. Do you get it?
Jersey. That seems like a Jersey Shore nickname.
Yeah. She's awful.
Or no, wouldn't it be Smushly?
Smushly. I think they probably said smash a lot when they talked about smashing. Yeah, they probably did. So she's all upset because she feels alone in the game, and in the bathroom, Corey gives her this pep talk, and it's like, oh, Corey, you're the best. Then Simone tells Jamie to be careful with Ashley. Okay. Then at the challenge, Nelson and Amanda come in as replacements. They're from Are You the One? They thought on Are You the One, I guess. So at the challenge, they have to grind a bar of soap until it reveals some numbers, and then hang those numbers up on a clothing line. The numbers are, like, printed on some T-shirts. It's a great challenge. It's a lot of humping. Do you get it? Because it looks like sex.
Yeah.
Because
very, very clever.
Very, yeah. Do you get it? So a twist in the game, whoever won the last elimination round decides the order of the next challenge. So that's a bit different. You wouldn't expect that. Brandon is apparently into Nicole, which I bring up only because it seems like it'll come up again later in the game. After the challenge, TJ tells Nelson and Amanda that they can bring 2 other teams on some super secret adventure. So they take Bananas and Sarah and Thomas and Simone. Then TJ cancels the elimination in favor of a house party. Because why not, I guess? So the 3 teams go on their date. And then they come back. Nothing happens on their little thing. And back in the house, Amanda wants everyone to think that she's crazy so no one knows her real weaknesses. Wes and Simone get into a fight for some reason. And hey, guess what? Little tidbit of information about one of the contestants. Vince, Banana's cousin, vapes.
Oh, of course he does.
Yeah. When I saw that, I was like...
I knew.
Yeah, I was going to say, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So Amanda gets in a fight with Riley and then Tony and pretty much everyone else in the house. And then she says the ultimate reality show phrase. Do you know what that is?
Not here to make friends?
She does indeed say that. Yep, and so that's the end of the episode. They didn't eliminate anyone. They added people to the show this episode. Okay. So at Tribal Council, Neil notices that no one is wearing the immunity necklace when they walk in. Michelle explains her advantage and then goes to vote, and Jeff collects the votes, and it's for...
Collects the one vote?
Yeah, he collects the one vote. I don't know why they had to go through the whole thing. Why couldn't she just been like, it's Neil? But whatever.
Unnecessary. And she drew a little ice cream cone next to his name.
Yeah, that was sweet. Neil says it's an honor to finally have his name written down, which was a nice sentiment, I think.
Yeah.
And then as he's leaving, he says...
nice sentiment here.
He says a less nice sentiment. He says, this is a pretty fucking good quote, honestly. Like, they're going to play this for 20 years after that. Like, they still play the thing Sue Hawk said in the first Tribal Council. I think that's who it was, about the snake and the whatever. They're going to use this one again, too. It says, you came into this game thinking you're a badass bitch, but you're more like a cute little puppy still suckling at the teat. I don't think you stand a chance. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah. This, along with one other thing that I'll touch on, I think this hurt Aubrey, and I think this was a bad move on his part to do.
To do that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jeff says, I didn't hear all of that, but it sounds like you may have made the right choice. And she's like, yeah, I think so. Then Neil says in his exit interview that he would have been a big advocate for Aubrey. Back at camp, they're on their final day, and they're checking themselves out in the mirror. As they were doing this, they do this every year, but I was thinking they should show a clip from their first day on the island to see how much they have changed, physically, because week to week, you're not really going to notice that somebody looks drastically different, but I think if you show them from a month and a half ago, it's going to look a lot different. Just a little production tip there from me. I host a podcast about Survivor, so you should listen to me, Jeff Probst.
They've all, it's the same thing as always. They've all lost weight.
Yeah.
Ty is, even skinnier than he was. Aubrey's, visibly skinnier.
Yeah.
And Sydney doesn't look that much different, but she's just, because she didn't really have any body fat to begin with.
Well, she also wasn't in this part.
Oh, yeah. Well,
She's already been out. She's already been
out. The
out.
Final Four. And Michelle, I don't know, skinnier than she was.
So Aubrey says that she's going into this last Tribal Council like any other. Her head is on the chopping block, and how do I get it off?
Wildlife. Wildlife.
This is the last one, Thomas.
Wildlife.
Unless the challenge place uses some wildlife shots. This is the last.
They won't.
They did in the first episode, but you didn't want to talk about it.
This season of Survivor has just turned into ash in my mouth. I can't even fucking enjoy this.
You can't even enjoy wildlife shots?
The last episode wasn't even good. That's the thing. It had a bad result, and the episode leading up to it wasn't good.
Alright. Well, whatever. So we got a monkey, a snake, a snake, spider, a lobster, some birds, another monkey, a lizard, a snake, another snake, a praying mantis, which we hadn't seen all season, another spider, and then my favorite one this week, as they walked into Final Tribal Council, there were two scorpions fighting.
Yep. That was pretty cool. That was a good shot.
Yeah. They, saved that one for the end. Just hold off a little bit. We've got a good one. We've got a good one coming. So at the Final Tribal Council, Ty brought Mark, which is nice. Nick tells the final three that they have to take advantage of every question. I think, honestly, smartest thing Nick has said all game.
Mm-hmm.
Aubrey says that Debbie was one of her biggest regrets of the game. Julia tells Michelle that she was the weakest link on the beauty tribe initially, and that voting out Julia was the biggest move Michelle made all game. No.
One of many problems that I have had with this shit. Julia was going to vote for Michelle anyway.
Yeah.
And I thought Julia's speech was indicative of Julia being an interesting person and a good player, and I think that she'll be back.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Michelle just went along with that. Michelle didn't have anything to do with it. Michelle was just like, I guess I'll vote her out.
Yeah.
Which was Michelle's entire fucking game, was not actually doing anything.
Okay. We'll get to it. I think, okay. Aubrey says that she was on the right side of the vote every time, and that Ty didn't have his finger on the pulse of the game like she did. Jason says, truth time, I don't know who I'm voting for. And then he asks some question. I don't remember what he asked. Aubrey says that she voted for Sydney because she knows that's what Sydney would have done. Okay, sure. And then Scott says to Neil, none of your advantages did you any good. Michelle, you out-toughed these two. Ty got weaker.
You mean Ty? You said he said to Neil.
Oh.
What if he just went over to Neil and was like, fuck you, Neil.
Fuck you, Neil. That was really mean what you said to Michelle. They, bring him over from the hotel he's staying in now. It's like, Scott needs to say something to you.
Scott and Jason pissed me off because they didn't even, it was so obvious that they were just not even going to consider Aubrey, and it was because they couldn't fucking accept that she beat them. Because she beat them in a way that they don't respect.
Yep. Talk about it. So he says, the Ty got weaker, Aubrey got weaker, Michelle got stronger. That's from Scott. Aubrey says in her final thing, I played my heart out, I think I outwitted, I know I outlasted, and I would say I outplayed.
Yeah, and Aubrey had the best fucking end thing because Michelle just cried in hers. And Ty's was really beautiful, but he just didn't know how to convey it.
Yeah.
It was a language barrier thing. He
Ty
had
says,
really beautiful sentiment in there, bro.
Yeah, he says he believes in the goodness of humanity and then compares life and the relationships you build throughout life and throughout the game to a water hyacinth plant, which is it was really nice.
You float and sometimes you run into people, basically saying that it was just a beautiful little diversion and coincidence in his life that he even got onto the show to meet these people.
Yeah.
And
he says them all, yeah. Sometimes you have a stronger bond with certain people, and so it's a tighter they're I don't know, whatever.
He didn't have a concise way to put it, and there was a clear language issue there. He was translating a Vietnamese proverb almost.
Yeah.
So but there was something really nice there, and everybody was tearing up during that. But and
then Michelle.
By the way, the one other thing that really hurt Aubrey was during Sydney's thing when Aubrey cut in on Michelle's answer.
Oh, yeah.
Which she had a good point about, but it just looked bad that she was just because basically it was Michelle was getting complimented for a vote that she made, and she was like, did you even know that this vote was happening? She was like, no, I didn't.
So Michelle says in her final speech that she had to fight her way here. She says, I'm proud of how I played, and I'm proud of myself. And then they cut to Aubrey.
She should be proud of how she played. She played a good game.
She did play a good game. She says that. They cut to Aubrey, and you can just tell in her face that she knows Michelle just won with that. You are upset.
Michelle is not an undeserving winner, but she is a less deserving winner. And I think that the show did an incredibly poor job in editing of telling a story of why she desered to win.
I think you're right about that.
They did a great job of telling you why Aubrey deserved to win.
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's just go to... Oh, wait, no. There's one last thing we have to talk about before we get to the final vote. So everybody goes to vote, and Jeff says to Ty, unless you have a plan on how to get back Mark back to America, and Ty says, I have no plan. For 39 days, I did everything I could for him. Now it's up to fate, and he lets Mark go. And everybody says bye to Mark. So then they get back to America, and Jeff reads the votes. Michelle, Aubrey, Michelle, and then every other one is for Michelle. Michelle won.
Yeah.
And you are pissed about it.
It was pretty clear that Joe and Debbie voted for Aubrey.
Even though Debbie said that Aubrey wouldn't get her vote.
No, she was wrong.
Yep. It was obvious when she said that it was going to be for Aubrey.
No, and Aubrey did a good job of... She basically said just pretty much exactly what Debbie needed to hear to solidify that vote.
Yeah.
Part of me, if Aubrey had just won the jury challenge...
Yep.
And vote... I'm curious who she would have voted out. I think she probably would have voted out...
Probably Scott or Jason.
She might have voted out Nick, because she was one of the people that was pretty instrumental in getting Nick out. That's, by the way, Nick, another person that couldn't accept that he was beaten in a way that he's not used to.
Well, yeah, Nick's an idiot. He made it obvious from the beginning that he's an idiot.
This jury vote hinged on 3 goddamn morons. It did.
Here's the thing. I think that Aubrey's biggest downfall, the reason Aubrey didn't win, was because she was instrumental in getting every one of those people out in some way or another. Which Michelle was too, but she was more quiet about it. She wasn't exactly running the show.
Not instrumental in anything. Michelle went along with a couple votes, and Michelle was on the other side of at least one of those votes.
Michelle was on the outside of her alliance in nearly every single vote. And she somehow still got to the final 3. She played a really good game.
No, good for her. She played a good game. She deserved to finish in second. She absolutely deserved to finish in second. She did not deserve to win.
No, because this game is just as much a social game as it is anything else.
They didn't.
And Aubrey didn't do it.
They gave us no indication of what she was doing in the social game. They just showed her kind of being around. People seemed to like her, but they didn't give us a reason why.
That's true, but that's not a fault of hers. That's a fault of production.
No, it's a fault of the editing. And I think that the show, that's the thing, because this season was really good up until this finale, and the show absolutely failed us in the end of it.
I will say they should have put her in the show more. But I think it would have been obvious if it was like, Michelle's just hanging out with these people and everybody likes her. It would be like, well, why are they showing this? It's obvious she's going to win.
I know, it's like, you can do it subtly. They did a good job of showing how good Jeremy was in the social game.
Yeah, that's true.
From last season. Aubrey, I just want to reward people for fucking gameplay, and Aubrey played the best game of anyone in that.
But she didn't win.
No, and she didn't win because she had a shitty jury. And there was a challenge that, if there wasn't that challenge, she still would have lost. It would have been 5-3.
Maybe not. She voted out Neil because he was voting for Aubrey and could influence other people.
I don't think Neil was going to convince anybody.
I think Neil may have convinced Sydney. I think Neil could have convinced Julia.
He maybe could have convinced Sydney. Julia was always going to vote for Michelle.
That's
Michelle
true.
was her
That
best
is true.
friend on the island.
That's true. Yeah.
I was annoyed that
I think
Sydney
Neil
voted
could have
for Michelle.
I think Neil could have gotten
annoyed that
Scott
Sydney voted
and
for
Jason.
Michelle.
I don't know. They were together at the end, and again, might just be out of spite. Like, it's got to be Raw for 4th place still.
Yeah.
So, and like you said last week, Michelle, you said Sydney will vote for whoever sways her.
Yeah.
And Aubrey didn't sway her, so Michelle got her vote.
I
think Michelle, they did a poor job editing throughout the season for her, but the flashes of good gameplay she had were definitely there. Like, early on, you remember when she and Nick were working together, she was like, I'm going to let Nick think that he's in charge, and I'm going to take him out as soon as I can.
She did some good subtle things, but also it was a lot easier to be Michelle in this game than it was Aubrey. It was a lot easier. Well, Aubrey had to be in control to stay in that game.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
Michelle could afford to be at the bottom of alliances because people wouldn't view her as a threat.
Well, yeah, but that's just as much gameplay as it is steering the direction of the game. And it's just a matter of what strategy you choose.
I just think the degree
And
of
if you
difficulty, the degree of difficulty was significantly higher on what Aubrey had to do.
I suppose.
Because she was, if she didn't maneuver properly, or get the proper votes together to vote certain people out, like, she was going to be gone.
But she also made herself a threat by influencing every vote in the way she did. I think Aubrey's...
She made herself a threat by influencing it in every vote in the game. If you fucking influence every vote in the game and you make it to the final three,
then everybody who votes for you is going to be mad at you.
If you have a jury that can't respect gameplay, then fuck that jury.
Okay, but...
It's just a bunch of people that are fucking bitter about votes.
Yeah, that's part of the game, though.
How about you just remove yourself? Like, one or two of them needed to just get some fucking perspective. But Scott's too competitive, and Scott doesn't respect the alliance game. Scott respects physical challenges. Mm-hmm. And that's what it came down to, was him being like, oh, Michelle won a challenge.
No, I think Scott's more angry about getting voted out than cares about challenges.
Well, yeah, that's more Ty's fault than it is Aubrey's.
Yeah.
Like, if you're going to be mad at anyone, be mad at Ty. Aubrey used that to her advantage.
I think Aubrey played a great game. I think she totally
And Aubrey was going to get voted out by them if she didn't vote them out. So she had absolutely no choice but to do it.
Yeah. See, I think Aubrey could have won if she pushed the narrative of, I played a really good game more, and said, like, I did what I needed to do to get you guys out. I'm sorry that I did that. Like, that's what she said to Debbie, and yeah. Debbie voted for her.
Well, okay, here's the thing. None of those people asked her questions. Like,
Aubrey?
Scott and... Like, Nick did not ask her a question. Scott did not ask her a question.
Mm-hmm.
Julia did not ask her a question. Like, Sydney did.
But she had time to talk, though.
Jason gave her, like, a little bit of time to talk, I think.
She did have time to talk, so there was plenty for... There was time for her to make her case. I don't think she did a great job of making her case for the Final Three, which is an incredibly important thing to do.
Jake, I thought that the final thing that she said was her case, and I thought it was a very succinct case.
Well, it wasn't good enough.
Well, those people are fucking stupid, Jake.
Well,
I can't help.
Okay, so play that to your advantage.
Fucking stupid.
That's you know who's in the jury. You spent a month with them. You know what they're about. So play to their strengths as much as your own. I think Michelle had played the jury in a decent way. Aubrey...
I'm fine with Michelle getting votes. I would be fine even if it was a close vote. Michelle should not have won. Michelle was a very deserving second place winner. She played a really good game. But if I'm comparing her to... The player I would most compare her to is from last season is Kelly Wentworth. And Kelly Wentworth did significantly more than she did.
Yeah. Kelly Wentworth was a huge threat, too. That's why she took 4th.
Yep.
So if she had been in the Final Three, she would have won, probably.
It's because she didn't win the elimination challenge in the 4th one, and Michelle probably would have been voted out if she didn't win the elimination challenge.
Yep, but she won when she had to, and she used her advantages adequately.
Yeah, I got to give her credit for that, but
I think she totally deserves.
I think that a strong last week does not make a first place winner. I think it makes a really good second.
But it's a necessary thing. It's a necessary thing.
She finished strong. She deserved to get votes over Ty. She did not deserve to get votes over Aubrey.
Well, I think that just gets at what Scott was saying with, like, she got stronger as the game went on.
She got stronger in the last week. What did she actually do in the couple weeks before that?
She was on the bottom of every alliance and survived every tribal council.
Was she on the bottom of every alliance? Because...
Yeah. She was left out of many votes.
Yes. Why didn't they vote her out when Ty wanted to vote her out?
Because they didn't think she was a threat.
Okay, but she was not on the fucking bottom of the game, though. Jason was. And then Joe got medically evacuated, and she lucked into that shit.
Outlast.
Yeah,
That's another part of the game.
I'm just saying, she didn't actually do anything. Everyone outlasted Joe that was still left.
That is true.
You can't be like, she outlasted Joe and no one else did. Fucking everyone that was still there did.
I think she did a good job. She played a very quiet game. Aubrey was...
No, Jake, the question is not, for me, is not whether she did a good job. It's did she do the best job, and she did not do the best job.
Obviously she did, because she won.
No!
Yeah!
That's bullshit. That is bullshit.
I'm sorry, that's the case.
No, that is bullshit.
No, you have to vote these people out, and then you also have to convince them that you are on their side, which she did and Aubrey didn't.
I am not interested in letting the jury off the hook for making a bad choice. I'm not. I don't care.
I'm sorry.
Like, it's like... The ends... I'm not into this ends justify the means bullshit. Like, the fact... Like, because there were people on the AV Club comments that were basically like, well, I didn't think that she played the best game, but she, like... That, like, if you get more votes, you're the more deserving player. Like, the jury can be wrong. I'm sorry. Yeah. I just don't agree with that. I don't think that you are the most deserving because you got an advantage that shouldn't have been in the game in the first place. That had
what is that? No
reason that advantage should have been in
here's the thing with the advantages they throw in like that, or the extra vote, or the hidden immunities. They always throw in something every few years. They'll throw in another thing so that you have to think on your feet. It's just another one of those. Like, the early seasons don't have hidden immunity idols. It's just straightforward, like, these are the alliances and tribes and whatever, and you just vote out whoever you want to vote out. There's not as much gameplay, and then they used that, and then they're doing this extra vote thing now. It's like, yes, if it had been a season of Survivor without the extra vote, without the jury voting out thing, Aubrey would have won. She absolutely would have, but she didn't. There were things that she didn't adapt to in the way she needed to.
As a general season, as a narrative, as a character arc, basically in general, we were robbed of an ending with this because Aubrey had by far the most compelling arc throughout the entire season, where she came in and was not a threat to anyone, and she adjusted and turned into a really good player. Like, early on, none of us were gonna, like, it wasn't until, like, probably 6 or 7 weeks in, maybe not even until the merge, that we thought Aubrey was a threat.
Yeah.
Came in, started kicking ass in the game, managed to get to the final 3, fucking made fire. It came down to a tie vote that she had to make fire to get into the final 3.
Did she use that at all in the jury conversation?
Yeah.
She did say that?
I think she said it in her final thing, didn't she?
Oh, I can't remember.
Yeah, because she said something like, I didn't think I was capable of doing that. Like, that kind of thing. Like, this is someone who completely transformed themselves on this island. And then there's just a fucking wet fart ending where it's like, oh no, the jocks don't like you, so you don't get to win.
Well, that's something
they're gonna vote for the fucking model.
Well, that's the case. It is. It's like you know that I don't know how to articulate it. But again, you have. It's like Ty was saying with the water hyacinth thing. It's like you run into these people, and sometimes you bounce off them, sometimes you gravitate towards them. And Aubrey, I think, did a better job of bouncing around these relationships, where Michelle did a better job of building those relationships, and that's what won her the game in the end.
It just feels like a rigged game to me because Aubrey
Why?
because Aubrey was never going to be able to have that social game with Scott and Jason.
But that's not. It's a part of the game. You have to strike a balance, which Michelle did a good job of, and Aubrey did a great job of that too. But Michelle's social game was just a smidge better than Aubrey's. And that's what won her the game.
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with her social game being a little bit better than Aubrey's, but Aubrey's every other part of her game was much better than
But she didn't strike that balance in the way that Michelle did.
The balance of having a pretty good social game and, like, everything else is generally forgivable.
How many challenges?
Except for, like, a couple moments.
How many challenges did Aubrey win? How many immunity challenges did Aubrey win?
Aubrey did not win immunity challenges, but Aubrey was in, like, every immunity challenge. How many
immunity challenges did Michelle win?
She won, like, 1 or 2, right?
Yeah. So that's more than Michelle. What kind of relationships did Aubrey build with the jury?
Aubrey built generally strong relationships with the jury.
She had
really strong relationships with Debbie and Joe. She had a very strong relationship with Sydney. She had a very strong relationship with Ty, which unfortunately he was not on the jury, so couldn't vote for her. That might have been.
If it had been Ty instead of Sydney to take forth?
Honestly, Aubrey, the last move, although I don't know, maybe Ty wouldn't have voted for her if she had been instrumental in this, but if she could have gotten Michelle to vote Ty out.
I think if she had played to Ty that it was their idea to take him out, I think she could have won him over. Because he's very, like, seat of the pants kind of player.
Yeah.
Is that what that phrase means?
Yeah,
pants.
Flying by the seat of your pants. Yeah. He's an impulsive player.
Impulsive. That's the word I was trying to get at. I think he would have voted for Aubrey if he had been in the.
I think he would have. I think he would have
too.
No,
I think it comes down. You were saying that just because her social game wasn't where it was supposed to be doesn't mean she deserves to lose.
Well, her social game was still really good, and it's like I felt like the rest of her game should have pushed her up, and it seems like nobody even cared about it. It seems like
Joe cared about it. Debbie cared about it.
Yeah, like fucking 2 people.
Okay. What I was going to say was I don't know if it was in the show or in the reunion, but they compared her game to a player who's played a couple times who was kind of like the nerdy archetype. And, like, he was up against a bunch of jocks and everything. And he came out and won. Cochran. I don't know if you're familiar with that player, but he was this nerdy guy, and nobody expected him to win. But he held his own, and he did end up winning. And it wasn't because of his social game.
Yeah. I think Aubrey was also hurt really badly by Joe getting medically evacuated.
Yeah.
Because I think Michelle would have been out earlier
if
he hadn't been medically evacuated.
But that's the thing. You got to outlast. You got to eat 3 feet of steak.
She just had some bad breaks at the end there.
Joe
winning that immunity challenge, or Joe winning that reward challenge was the worst thing that could have happened to her.
Yeah, really. I think the biggest difference, because you're right, Aubrey did build good relationships, but I think the biggest difference is Aubrey built relationships to win her votes, whereas Michelle, I think, built more genuine relationships.
She did, but the part of that is because Michelle didn't have to, up until, like, maybe the very end, she didn't have to build relationships.
Well, not necessarily.
Michelle didn't even have to go to a tribal, because she was on the beauty tribe for, up until the merge.
Right. But that's the thing with this season was Beauty, Bronze, Brains, is like the Beauty's skill is that they're affable and they're likable and their social game is better than somebody who is a smart, nerdy person. You're shaking your head.
I don't know. We've made our positions on this clear. Just get to the points. And part of the reason I'm mad, honestly, and like really, it's only like 10% of this that I'm actually, or like 10% of why I'm mad is because Aubrey not winning was the difference between me winning our points.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you that.
90% is genuinely because I have been rooting for Aubrey the entire season, and I think that the show, like I said, did a very good job of setting up, like, they had an amazing winner's edit for Aubrey, and then it turned out to be a fucking red herring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think now that
But there wasn't an alternate one. It's like, if you go back, there's not this secret Michelle winner's edit. They just didn't do one.
Yeah, I think maybe now that people are talking about the winner's edit more in these last few seasons, they've become familiar with it, and so they're going to try to steer you away from...
No, but that makes for a worse show. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't know. But they also may have just done a bad job editing this season.
I think that's more likely.
Before we get to points, I just want to run through some things from from Ponderosa, Sydney's Ponderosa, and the reunion. As for Sydney's Ponderosa, as if it wasn't obvious throughout the season, I'm super into Sydney. Sydney, if you listen to this, hit me up.
Yeah, no, yeah, Sydney can get it.
Yeah,
this was a season of some attractive ladies, and I'm not going to go further than that and be gross. But
Ty, numero uno.
Oh yeah, also
Joe.
some attractive dudes. Fucking Ty, you have like a hot 71-year-old that Jeff wants to fuck.
Getting it done at 71. Speaking of people Jeff wants to fuck, during the reunion, Caleb was talking about his evacuation, and he said he, like, barely remembers it. He woke up on a helicopter, and he's like, I looked like a hot mess. And Jeff Probst, before cutting to commercial, says, you looked like a stud playing a hard game. What? Jeffrey, calm down. You're married to a lady.
Look, dog's got a hunt, Jake.
Why though? Why? It was so gross. I honestly felt like vomiting after you said that. I just imagine him sitting there in the helicopter with Caleb, just like,
if I weren't married.
So Sia came on. I don't think I mentioned this to you, but you were like, why didn't Aubrey win money? She gets like $50,000 or something like that, or she wins some amount of money for taking second.
Okay.
But they don't promote it because it's not the sole survivor $1 million. But second place takes some money too. I don't know if third does. Probably. But anyway, third place, Ty, Sia came up on stage and was like, Ty, oh. That's what Sia does apparently. She makes that noise. And you can't see her face because
she's
branding.
got like the big wig thing.
Yeah. She came on and was like, I'm going to give you $50,000 and also send $50,000 to an animal charity of your choice because you did such a great job with animals this season. And thank you.
Why does Ty get $50,000 for him for being the worst of the final three? He gets the same thing as Aubrey.
I don't know if it's $50,000 or $500,000. It's some decent amount of money.
If he got $500,000.
No, not Ty. Ty got 50. I think Aubrey might have gotten 50 or 500, but whatever. It's a significant amount of money, but it's not $1 million. So next season is Millennials versus Gen X, which is a dumb title. Although
you can't see it, but I'm making a jerk off motion right now.
One, I think it would be better if it was Millennials versus Baby Boomers. Like,
oh God, no! I couldn't handle that every week.
I feel like the
fucking tribals in that would be like, you don't appreciate anything with your emojis and your.
Did you?
As the baby boomers are just sitting around not doing anything the entire episode, and they're like, I worked hard. You should be happy with this unpaid Survivor internship that I gave you.
One of the Millennials, and did you watch the preview?
No.
I
heard it looked really bad, though.
Oh my God, it looks real bad. Yeah, get ready for a super bad season. You've had 2 amazing seasons in a row. Get ready for a bad one. One of the Millennials, whose name is Zeke, by the way.
Cool.
I know that you didn't pick that name, but you kind of did. Has just a mustache, like a dad mustache, and is wearing like a Hawaiian T-shirt. Says, and I can't stand the way this guy looks. He is so gross looking, but he said, I think Twitter's the worst thing ever invented. I mean, I'm on Twitter, but I can't help but relate to you on that one, Zeke. So we'll see how far Zeke gets in there.
Also, hey, Zeke, you're wrong, because Twitter is the best social media that there is. Twitter's fucking great.
I do love
Twitter's
Twitter.
Not great. Twitter is so much better than any other social media platform. It's not even close.
They're promoting this as like, millennials are like up with culture and whatever, and Gen Xers complain about millennials a lot, and millennials complain about Gen Xers a lot. But
Is there really that much of a rivalry between them?
Right, that's what I was
Millennials
thinking.
and baby boomers.
That's what I was thinking. That's why I said baby boomers. My dad, who is a baby boomer, and I, who am a millennial, talk about like generations a lot. We talked like last time I was home a couple months ago, and I was talking to him about just like the generation divide, because like a Who song came on or something at this restaurant where we were having lunch, and I was like, it's amazing that like the music from your generation is still prevalent today. Well, my generation is like taking over, but also it makes sense because your generation has been in charge of the world for the last 40 years. So we're always talking about like millennials and baby boomers, and you always say like, yeah, Gen Xers is like, they want to take over, but we're just going to pass everything off to you guys. So they're just kind of getting skipped over.
Yeah, they just got stuck in the middle. They're like Prince Charles.
Yeah.
We're like
Prince James, the new one, the baby.
No, we are not like Prince James. We are like not Harry, the other one.
The one who's married to Kate Middleton?
Yes.
William.
Like William.
William. We're Prince William, and Gen Xers are...
Whatever the fuck the next generation after us is Prince Harry. They're not going to do shit.
Yeah.
But they'll probably be all right.
I like that we're already shitting on the next generation.
They're fine. They're fine. They're not... They're fine.
I mean, they're like teens now, so
they've got their
of course
own
they're annoying.
There's going to be shit we complain about. I mean, I'm already, like, even within my own generation, I'm like, hey, Vine Star's cool. Cool that we did that. It's cool how they're all not terrible people, and there's one who's, like, a definite confirmed rapist.
Oh, no. I'm going to call this season, what was... Oh, Reality Bites versus Catfish. That's this season.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I just don't I don't sense like a real actual resentment between, maybe I'm wrong, but between millennials and Gen Xers. Like, I got nothing against Gen Xers.
Yeah, they haven't really made an impact.
Their culture was cool. Like they had music and stuff like that.
They're just jealous of millennials like taking over and being born into the internet and technology and everything.
Maybe, I don't know, but like they still are, like, involved with that. Like, those guys are still up on that stuff. So
yeah, it's a weird matchup, and totally unnecessary. So this season, like last season, we've been using Holiday in Cambodia, the Dead Kennedys song, to intro every episode, and Beautiful by James Blunt, because, or You're Beautiful? Is it called You're Beautiful?
I believe it's called You're Beautiful. It's called You're Beautiful.
Well, after today, we will never have to listen to it again. Until they do...
I'm bummed.
If they do Brain Beauty Bronze again, we'll bring it back, but...
The things whenever I would, like, go through our episodes, the thing that I would look most forward to is that part in You're Beautiful where he goes, and I was fucking high!
So, we've got the Dead Kennedy song, which... I'm going to be bummed to see that one go, too.
I'm very bummed to see Holiday in Cambodia go.
The next season is in Fiji, so we'll have to find a song to play for that. I thought it would be fun, though, to go through some Dead Kennedy songs and think up some themes. CBS, you're free to use these themes if you want for future seasons of Survivor. I think they should do a season off the coast of California on some island called California Urales. That's the song we'll use. And it's white supremacists versus minorities.
No, that's so bad. Why did you have to go there?
They did it with, well, not exactly that, but they did race tribes and Cook Islands or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So bring it back.
In that vein, I suggest Nazi punks fuck off, which is white, or white supremacist skinheads versus actual skinheads, which are the non-racist skinheads.
Yeah.
That generally will go to shows that they know that Nazi punks are going to be at just to fight them. So
how would they separate tribes? Because I imagine a lot of those people look alike.
I don't know. I mean, the ones that have Nazi tattoos.
Oh, true.
Conveniently make everyone on that tribe.
Oh my god,
tattoos.
dude.
That merge would be terrible. There would be so many fights.
People would die. My friend went to like a resale shop the other day and took a picture of a dresser or like a bookcase or something. It was some big piece of furniture.
Yeah.
But in the sides of the dresser or whatever was carved a swastika.
Oh.
They were not trying to hide that at all.
Yeah, all right.
This was in America, obviously. You can't have that in Germany. Like, what the fuck? That's pretty crazy.
All I can imagine with my fictional season of this is just Jeff being like, I'll tell you a third time. Please stop calling me a race traitor.
So, I was on, I think I mentioned on, never mind, I'm not going to tell that story. Another song we could use is Kill the Poor for the season of military families versus, like, peaceful, peace, love, and hippies. I think that'd be a fun season.
That would also work for when you get drafted.
Yeah.
Let's lynch the landlord. Landlords versus tenants.
Yeah, we talked about that before we started recording. I think they should do it with, like, really shitty tenants, and then, like, they're required to bring their landlords on. And then they could do it like the challenge where they're teammates.
Or alternately, really shitty landlords with their
and
tenants
decent.
that have to deal with all their bullshit.
Just really shitty people. 20 really shitty people.
Let's just get the worst people.
The worst people versus more worst people.
And then they all die and everyone's happy.
Do you have any other ones you want to do?
I mean, take this job and shove it. Bosses versus employees.
Undercover people from Undercover Boss versus other people from Undercover Boss. It's another CBS show. They're borrowing people from Amazing Race and Big Brother all the time.
It's not a CBS show anymore.
What? What is it on now?
It's on CNBC now.
What?
Yeah.
Like new episodes?
Yeah.
That's weird.
It is weird.
Huh. Well, they're not even...
It started out as a CBS thing, and somehow NBC got it.
Huh. Well, good for NBC, I guess.
Jake, that's the reason, you know, the Undercover Boss Star Killer base, like...
oh, yeah. That's why they could do it.
The reason that they did that is because it's an NBC show now.
Okay. I had that thought, like, I thought this was a CBS show when I saw that, but that makes sense. Okay. Shark Tank is that CNBC also? Or is that on NBC?
I think it's an NBC show.
Is it? I only ever... Shark Tank is a show that only exists in reruns, I think. There's no new episodes. It's just like, oh yeah, I've seen this one before.
It's like Bar Rescue.
Yeah. I kind of love Shark Tank though.
I've never really gotten into it. I do love Bar Rescue though, which is why I mentioned it.
I've seen maybe one or two episodes of that. There's so much TV and it's all good.
Shark Tank is ABC.
Shark Tank's ABC. Okay. Maybe that's why I've never seen it, because I don't think I watch anything on ABC. Fresh Off the Boat, I think I watched that. I haven't in a while, but I do. Let's just list all the shows we watched.
I watched Happy Endings when it was on.
Oh, I love Happy Endings.
So good.
Do you have any other Dead Kennedy songs you want to throw out there? Because I've got one I want to end things with.
I'll let you finish it off then.
Okay. Finally, MTV Get Off the Air. We will use when we finally get Johnny Bananas to be on Survivor.
Yes!
That hashtag again is MTV. Nope, it's not that. It's not MTV. Tag MTV in your tweets. Hashtag is Bananas on Survivor. So get that going. We want to see that man on the show. I have another.
We want to see Dat Boy on the show.
Oh shit!
When
what
Dat
up?
Boy's on the show, we'll be like, oh shit, what up?
Survivor. Oh shit! What up?
Now I just really want to Photoshop Johnny Bananas' face onto that little, like,
let's do
Dat Boy that's on the unicycle that
and then
look who's gonna be on Survivor. It's Dat Boy.
Oh shit! What up? I was talking to my coworker the other day.
Wait, no, sorry. It would actually be, oh shit! What up? Jeff Roast being like, it's Dat Boy.
He brings the 17 people who are on the show with bananas, and then there's like, wait, there's not enough people, and then behind a tree line rides out on a unicycle, and it was like, oh shit, what up?
Your new contestant, Dat Boy.
And then like
also known as Johnny Bananas.
All the millennials are like, oh, it's Johnny Bananas, and all the Gen Xers are like, who?
Isn't Johnny Bananas is a Gen Xer though, isn't he?
I think he's right in between. He's like 36 or something, so he's like an old millennial but a young Gen Xer.
I think he's a Gen Xer.
Yeah. Also, fuck that guy. He's a Gen Xer.
Why you're playing into this?
Yeah, well, I feel like I have to.
No, you don't.
I feel like I'm required to...
They are trying to make us fight with the Gen Xers, and I'm not having it.
Yeah, it does very much seem like these are the tribes you're going to root for.
And you know why? It's because a bunch of baby boomers run CBS, and they want to distract us from the real war.
Which is the bathroom thing. That's what we really need to be caring about.
They're attacking me, and they're not letting my children be safe. For dumb reasons that are easily picked apart.
I have another podcast called the Crash Test Podcast. It's a good time. You should come check it out on iTunes. This show's page on Twitter is called DYWSLN. Follow that. We'll put that oh shit what up picture up. I guess the meme is called Dat Boy, right?
Yeah, the meme's called Dat Boy.
Well, memes are dumb, and I hate them all, except for that one. I kind of love that one.
That meme has surprising legs.
Frog legs.
Hot.
That meme is one of my faves, along with... We talked about the Crying Jordan meme, right? Yeah. On this, yeah. Those two are my favorite. My two favorites. That meme also
stems from one of my other faves, because I think the thing that made the oh shit what up thing a thing is just that picture of Pac-Man... like walking weird, holding a briefcase, and it's got the breaking news bar, which is like one of my absolute favorite memes. Is the breaking news bar with just weird things in it.
Have you seen?
Like one of my favorite ones is just this really content-looking fish that's like, fish breaking news: fish having great day. The water is warm and there are no predators in sight. And it's this fish that looks like it's smiling.
Have you seen the one with Paul Rudd as Ant-Man? It's like Bobby Newport still no job.
Yeah, but the Pac-Man one is just Pac-Man walking weird with his arms out.
Yeah.
Like a briefcase. It's a 3D model of him from some game, and it just says, breaking news, it's that boy. Oh shit, what up? And that was where the meme took off.
I wonder why my parents don't listen to this show, and then we talk about things like this, and I completely understand.
This has been our podcast, Memes, Ground Zero.
Oh, man.
Memes, Patient 1.
I hate memes. I hate that Facebook has just become like a stream of memes. A stream of memes. That's a fun
Stream of memes is the episode title.
I was just going to say. Okay.
We've got our title, baby.
My Twitter is Jake Scheidel. You can find it on the internet. Thomas.
Mine is Tom.Tom. You can also find that on the internet. And you should also, as always, follow Old Dogs 2009. I did update last week, and I was very proud of it, so I will continue to do so. I was really happy when I was scrolling through Instagram, and I just saw John Travolta's dumb mug come across my screen. The worst picture of him I could find. I'm really excited to see how that whole thing evolves. I feel like it's going to become a John Travolta fan page. Well, I can't become a Robin Williams one and still be a joke, is the thing. Yeah, true. I will find some wrinkles for this. There's going to be some interesting things. Some wrinkles on Robin Williams' face. Well, not anymore, because he's dead. Yeah, it's all decrepit now. It's probably decomposed. But John Travolta is putting, like, as much Botox as possible into that face. It's real. He's trying real hard. He's trying real hard to make sure you don't find any wrinkles. I gotta look young for that Pulp Fiction sequel. We're also on Facebook. Did you watch Survivor last night? We also have an email. Did you watch last night at gmail.com? You know, this is where I would read an email if we had any. So Jeff, please. Jeff Probst, email us. Please, Jeff. Sign your email, your pal Jeff Probst. Jeff, you can't see, but I'm on my knees right now. I'm begging you. Please. So next week it's all about, we're getting to the challenge. It's going to be solely about the challenge. Yep, so everyone just stop listening for a couple months. Survivor will be back. And we talk about the dumb bullshit that the next season of Survivor is about. And who knows, No, it'll be good. I was going to say earlier, but I don't think we talked about it. The first few episodes will be the dumb, Gen Xers are better than Millennials and vice versa. But then it'll just turn into the same game it always is. Regular old. Yeah, they drop their gimmick once you hit the merge.
So, next week's the Real World finale, and the challenge...
Yep, so who cares? And the challenge?
And the challenge is happening.
Yep.
It's going to be a good season. It's going to be a good season.
I'm excited for that and not the other thing that you said.
Yeah, well, it's the last time we'll talk about the Real World.
I'm excited because it's the last time I'm going to have to hear about the Real World for a while.
But until Battle of the Exes 2 next winter or whenever it comes on, I'm worried that this season of the challenge is going to end before next Survivor starts.
We should just do a couple special episodes.
Okay, sounds good. We'll figure that out in, like, August or whatever.
No, we'll figure it out on the podcast
Let's do it right now.
All right, no, let's.
All right.
We got to put a pin in this.
Yeah, this is getting long.
Well over an hour.
All right, as always, have a great summer.
Deuces.
My life is brilliant. My love is pure. I saw an angel. Of that I'm sure. She smiled at me on the subway. She was with another man. But I won't lose no sleep on that. 'Cause I've got a plan. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do. 'Cause I'll never be with you. Yes, she caught my eye as we walked on by. She could see from my face that I was flying high, and I don't think that I'll see her again, but we shared a moment that will last till the end. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. I saw your face in a crowded place, and I don't know what to do. 'Cause I'll never be with you. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. You're beautiful. It's true. There must be an angel with a smile on her face when she thought up that I should be with you. But it's time to face the truth. I will never be